It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to The Local Show, the 2023 Pre Autumn Equinox Edition. That's fall for those of you keeping up with things. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in the great city of Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We are broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Good weekend to Steve Roberts. How are you?
You always got to point at the seasons, because you know
it's right.
You just got to do that, don't you? You
the
just
seasons
have to do that.
They're changing. Hey, do you know when the official fall is?
That would be the 21st.
23rd.
That's what I said.
That 21st. Of course, I'm cheating. I looked it up, and all that.
It's usually around the 21st.
Yes, 21st to the 23rd.
It was a double leap year.
I think spring is the 21st. I don't know. Yeah, but the 23rd, and that would be next week, and that means that then we're officially in fall.
Ooh. Yeah, that whole, warm days, cool nights.
Yeah,
it was always State Fair was always the transition, or at least we thought it was. It was like, okay, it's fair, and then boom, it just feels like that's the time.
Well, now with the global warming, we're going to be like Florida, which is awesome.
You know what's cool? There is no winter.
It's a nice shift.
They've canceled winter, which I appreciate, because I don't like winter.
Yeah. Until we get into January, Feb, right, when it's those... freezing cold, and then you go, where is that global warming?
Yeah, bring it on.
I could use that. Hey, we've got a great show for you, folks. Just stick around. Steve and I are going to talk to a lot of interesting people today. We're going to start off with John Cerrone from Festa Italiano. He'll tell us all about that, and then Dr. Nicole Anzalone is coming up next. It's the what do you call it? The Italian Power Half Hour.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit. I'm going to sit back
and enjoy. Hey, if you made it through, what's his name?
Some other Italian guy. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
you made the Uncle Louie variety show. You made it through that.
Yeah.
So Nicole Anzalone, she'll come up, and then Doctor. She's the doctor. Mary Thompson is not a doctor. She's the executive officer.
Tom's the Italiano. Let's just make it Italian, okay?
She's from the Home Builders and Remodelers of CNY. Dr. Joseph Berry, my personal physician. He's going to give up the practice and just take care of me.
Yeah.
Owner of Signature MD. He's coming by. And then Jim Nosek will talk about Anyela's Vineyards, a beautiful place up there in beautiful Minneapolis. And he's going to represent Onondaga Grown. Neil Carr, Vice President of Prime Heating and Air. He'll stop by. Sheila Ostrom brings a guest. She's from Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. I'm not sure if I'm saying this girl's name right. Her name is Lorraine, and is it Parkalap?
That's what it says.
Yeah, that's what I thought you knew her. You said she's not a personal friend.
I'm not here to help you.
Okay. Well, anyway, she's a paralegal over there at Safe Harbor. And then Jeff Rogers, he rounds us out. He's the owner of the Angry Smokehouse and Angry Garlic. So I'm hoping he brings a little something. That'd be really nice for us.
It might not be Italian, though.
Who cares? They got great food. Yeah. All right, John Cerrone's with us right now, Festa Italiano board member. How are you, John?
I'm very well, thanks, Tom.
Thanks for stopping by. How long have you been affiliated with Festa?
Well, probably about 10 or 12 years. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, I just was a volunteer. I would work the Festa selling pizza or work in the bar, pouring wine, draft beer, whatever.
Italians drink wine?
Yes,
amazing. That's something.
But it's been about 10 or 12 years. And then about 5 years ago, they asked me to start the Heritage program.
Okay.
Where, we obviously looked at our roots and we brought in some stuff and had some demonstrations and presentations. And I did that 1 year and it proved very successful. So I was asked to join the board.
Very nice.
So that happened about 5 years ago. So
demonstrations on how to be Italian? I mean, what are you demonstrating? Because I know the answers are talk loud, use your hands, and everyone's your cousin. Those are the rules of being Italian.
You notice I'm sitting in my hands.
Yes,
But food. Preparing food,
okay,
that kind of thing. I've got I've had where people have come in and wine demonstrations. They've come in and wine tasting and cheese and that kind of thing. We cheese, Italian meats. Laura Hand has come in and done presentations from Italy, her time in Italy when she was there, those kinds of things.
Very
Anything
nice.
with the heritage of the Italian heritage.
Sure. Now, where is it?
It's right in front of City Hall.
Okay. It's always been there, right?
Always
okay.
Right in front of City Hall. And the area that I work in for the heritage, if you're facing City Hall, it's just to the left.
Okay.
There's the atrium building. It's shaped like a triangle.
Now, if I call that Columbus Circle, someone's going to have a fit, right?
Yes.
Oh, oops! I called it Columbus Circle.
Yeah, do
Right.
that.
Do
It's
what?
crazy.
But that's where people know it is, and that's where it's located. It's on that side of that side of town.
Well, not really. It's further up. It's
Further
City
up.
Hall.
That's what I'm saying.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. Nice. Okay. So, are you a Syracuse native? Did
Yes.
you grew up here? Yeah.
Born and bred. Yep.
And where did you work before this?
I'm retired now, but I worked at Babbitt Bearings on Burnett Ave.
Very nice.
Small bearing company.
Are they a family-owned company?
Yes.
How come we haven't had them on the air?
I don't know.
We should
Do you
talk
know
to them.
anybody there? They
Yeah.
are aware.
I think I have a few people still
Yeah,
there that I
we
know.
should talk to
No,
them.
because everybody knows that. You drive by it, you see it there, and
Yeah.
It's been there 70 years.
Yeah, and everybody should know. It's all ball bearings these days, right?
Yeah, well, we're not ball bearings.
Oh, no ball
That's
bearings.
Killian down the street.
Oh, okay.
Ours is more
Wow.
thrust bearings and they go into drilling and that kind of thing.
I see.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So when did you convert and become Italian?
Probably about 76 years ago.
You're full Italian then?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Both my mother and father.
Yeah, yeah.
My father is an immigrant. He came from Italy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
My mother was born here, but her parents were from
So
Sicily.
please talk food. What am I? What can I taste?
Yes,
while I'm
over there.
'Cause
Yeah,
I
let's
want to
go.
hear about the food.
Talk all about it.
Whatever you want, we have. I mean, we've got
Sauerbraten?
That's next door.
Sorry.
You go next door for that.
all right.
Stuffed rigatoni, riggies and vodka sauce,
Nice.
meatballs, chicken riggies, mozzarella sticks, you name it, meatball parm, ravioli.
You got some of the folks from Utica coming down to make the Utica greens?
They are, yes.
Yeah, those
yes.
are
great.
Yes.
One of my favorites, you know that.
It's a Utica thing.
Yeah, yeah.
They're going to be there. Yeah.
Just go to, my grandmother used to make the broccoli wrap.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, I know all about it.
Yeah. So, did you ever have fried zucchini blossoms?
The blossoms,
Yes.
Yes.
You know you're Italian when you have
I
those.
don't even know what you're talking about.
We'll bring you into the fray.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So when is this going on? So when can they go?
It starts Friday, and it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So it's Friday, and then it's today, Saturday, and Sunday. What are the hours Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday, it starts at 11 in the morning, and it goes to 11 at night. Sunday, it starts at 11 o'clock. There's a Catholic Mass outside the bishop is doing.
Nice.
And then 12 o'clock to 8 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay, quickly, entertainment.
Yes.
Quick.
All kinds of bands.
Okay.
I mean, Brass Incorporated, Mirror Morals, Primetime Horns.
Yes.
Ruby Shoes, Ryder.
Letizia, probably?
No, she's not in.
Oh,
this
no,
year.
she's not. Okay.
Okay. Bad Husband Club, Custom Tailor Band. A lot.
A lot of entertainment.
Music,
Good.
food, and Italy, Tom.
It's all
this
perfect.
weekend.
That's wonderful.
That's it. And the story is everybody's Italian this week.
That's right.
Okay.
Welcome to the.
Am I Italian, Tom?
Yes, well, he married Italian.
I
That's
did.
good enough.
There you go.
Thank you so much. John Cerrone right there, Festa Italiano board member. Thank you very much for being here
You're very welcome.
and for what you do.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Nicole Anzalone, speaking of Italian, coming up next. She's the owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it and back at it. You found The Local Show with Tom and Steve, both from Zoey Advertising. In fact, we're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. We're also on YouTube, where you can see us and see the guests and what we do behind the scenes, which is nothing other than talking into a microphone.
Yeah, most people listen. You'll see, and okay, 50 people saw this or whatever, but the vast majority of the listens are on the weekend. And do you hear? I hear every week. I heard this, or do you hear that, Tom? I hear it all the time from people that feel random. It doesn't even feel like my friends, because my friends don't listen. It feels more like people on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Last weekend we were going to a celebration of a pastor friend's retiring in Rochester, and I got there and there were some other people there. Yeah. And they say, "Don't say a word. I've listened to you all morning." Well, they listened on the way.
That's funny.
Which is cool, actually.
People tell me I'm as popular as a mud puddle. Well, so I don't know. We both have different experiences.
But they always say, that guy you work with has a great, I'm so sick of hearing
I don't hear that at all.
Has a great voice. Right? I hear that. No one says that about me because it's not true.
I just hear that I'm a guy who's lost my prime. Happy talk on Gettys Federal. Tell us a little bit about Gettys Federal. Why should people still go there? You got 10 seconds. Go.
Nothing's changed. They've been there forever. You can trust them.
Yeah.
Park your money in a CD, get a good rate. If you're going to get a mortgage, talk to them. They're local. They're here. You can have a conversation. Their rates are great. They're nice, integral, honest people that you can trust. GettysFederalSavingsLoan.com, Tom.
Very nice. That's why you're the genius, and I'm like a wrinkled bud on a, what do you call those hydrangeas? I look at my hydrangeas, and you see how the flowers have all gone to seed now, and they're all just brown and disgusting. And that's me.
Well,
in a nutshell.
You're being kind to yourself. You're being kind to yourself, Tom.
That's what I'm all about. So, but a fresh flower out there, Dr. Nicole Anzalone. She's the owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. How are you, Doctor?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Tom?
Good. Well, you've heard.
He's better than he looks.
Yeah. I'm the shriveled up bud going into the fall. So tell us, though, about your business. You got 2 locations now, huh?
Yeah, 2 locations, one in Camillus and one in Fayetteville.
Excellent.
And we wanted to add more services.
Yeah.
So we could do everything audiology.
No kidding. What other services could you possibly add? Tell me about that.
Besides hearing?
Yeah. What else are you doing? Massages?
Ear spa.
Yeah, right.
Actually, it's funny. Some patients come in, they call just, on a regular basis to get their ears cleaned out because they love it. They love the feeling of it. But we do ear cleanings. We do hearing testing, comprehensive hearing testing, all ages, from newborns all the way up to adults. Hearing aids, of course, because we have to treat the hearing loss that we find.
Sure.
And balance testing. So audiologists are in the domain of hearing and balance because it's all in your ears.
The thing when is it your ears or what? When you bend over and you're getting something, you stand up quick and you have those little star thingy things. Is that, there's a word for that, I'm sure. Is that the ears or is that something different?
That could be something different. So there's multiple things that could cause dizziness. But when you're experiencing true vertigo, like a spinning sensation, in most cases, it's due to your inner ear. If you get up too fast and you're noticing some stars, it could be more of what's called orthostatic hypotension, which is like quick changes in blood pressure if you're changing positions.
Right.
But if you have like unsteadiness or disequilibrium, your ear is your gravity and your motion sensor, basically. And if there's a difference between ears, if there's, even a virus that affects one ear versus another, it could send you into a whirl or maybe feel off. It was interesting because a couple of weeks ago, my own daughter had vertigo.
Oh, that's awful.
You're kidding. She's so young. She's just a child.
She just got up, picked her head up off the bed, and she said, "Mom, I feel like I'm on a tire swing." And I was like, I got to look at that. So I did some, screening tests on her, and she had what's called nystagmus, is when your eyes start moving or beating back and forth rapidly. And it was a short period of time, but, thank goodness her mom's an audiologist.
Right.
And I knew what was wrong with her, because any other mom would be like, what's going on?
But you'd still said what's going on.
I still said what's going on.
Let's be honest. You didn't.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happened? What did it turn out to be? Was it brought on by something?
Yeah, so it could have been brought on by a virus.
Okay.
Normally, people would exhibit some sort of viral symptoms, like a cold a couple of days before the vertigo starts, but she was okay. She just had a little of what's called BPPV. Could have been viral onset. She's fine now.
Good.
Yeah, so she's all better.
Good God, yeah. That's
scary.
It's
a scary thing.
Yeah.
Dizziness is a very scary thing
It
when
is.
you
I hate
can't
it.
control what you're feeling around you, and the world's moving around you.
Yeah.
But we do evaluations for that, so that all that expensive equipment I bought was just worth it, just for that to test my daughter, to know what was going
Did
on
you
with
send her a bill?
No kidding.
The copay, charge a copay. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's pretty common, especially as people age. But it could happen anytime.
Yeah. So as we move into the holiday season, we get into fall. Families start to gather. So a lot of noise. What I call the cacophony of noise in a family environment. That's when we tend to see that people might be experiencing some hearing loss.
Yeah, that's when people notice, when there are gatherings amongst the family, and some people in the family may notice that, hey, that person, my father's missing out, or my mom's missing out on what we're saying. We're having to repeat ourselves multiple times, and usually the families notice first.
But sometimes people will nod their head and play along.
Oh, of course.
And they didn't hear it, but they didn't acknowledge that they didn't hear it. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's true, because they feel too ashamed of not knowing what's going on, and not that, because they're not hearing. And sometimes they feel embarrassed to say, hey, what'd you say? What'd you say? Over and over again.
Right.
But that could be avoided. I mean, hearing aids do a wonderful job at helping hearing loss. It's the number one most viable way to treat hearing loss. And I have a lot of patients that say, I wish I'd done this sooner. I was missing out on so much. My grandchild saying, all the funny things she says or he says, and I really wish I did it sooner.
Yeah. Do you get a new batch of technology every year? Is technology going that rapidly to where you have like a new batch of hearing aids that do fun things?
Yeah, I mean, the technology does change really rapidly. Pretty much every year, every 2 years, there might be a major change. I mean, think about the newer computers versus a computer from 5 years ago.
So they're pretty tiny when you put them in, right?
Yeah, the miniaturization is, amazing. They're getting smaller and smaller and doing more and more processing. So they're basically doing more that your ears can't do now. They're starting to use AI, artificial intelligence, to decide what's speech, what's noise, and decrease what it thinks you don't want to hear, which is
Can you help
great.
me with that with Tom? Because that would really, real quickly, some of them go in your ear and you don't see them at all. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's a couple of types. One is the Lyric, which is like a disposable hearing aid, like a contact lens. It's pretty neat because you can't see it. It goes in your ear, stays in your ear for 2 months at a time. Every 2 months, I see you back, take it out, put in a new one. Takes 5 minutes, so it's great. It's really neat, and the people who are good candidates for it, and some may not be, but the people who are, they get to try it. They get to try it for free for 30 days, which is awesome. That's the company that allows that. And the people who love it, and they won't go with anything else.
Syracuse Hearing Solutions. People have questions. SyracuseHearingSolutions.com, or they can call 468-2985. Syracuse Hearing Solutions, 468-2985. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, Mary Thompson. She's the executive director of the Home Builders and Remodelers of CNY, and we've got a Parade of Homes coming up real soon. So stick around for that conversation right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Here we go. We're back again and enjoying your company. It's Tom and Steve. I enjoy anybody's company other than Steve, so thank you for stopping by.
Come on.
No, it's all good.
We should go on a vacation together, Tom.
Never. But thank you for offering. I do.
I'll drive over the bridges.
That's it. It's not true.
He's paying.
That's right. As long as he pays. But I have actually said that. We have to go down and get the daughter down there in Disney and bring her back in November. So I told Kelly, I said, why don't we have Steve drive?
I have I'll drive.
He'll go down there. He'll love that.
I enjoy when we used to go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
It's 13 hours.
Sure.
To me, that's a regular day.
Yeah, you can make it.
Not with passengers that have more
true.
estrogen than me and more testosterone than you.
Yes,
so we like to
stop.
Stop. I'm like 13 hours. Bring it on.
Really?
Okay,
You're one of them.
To me, it's a big contest. But we end up now, if we go there, we stop at Richmond. It's about halfway and whatnot. But no, I enjoy.
You
the
don't
view.
mind it.
I don't. It's.
Well, Nicholas wants to go down to B&H photo with you, and I said, Steve will go down on a weekend.
I'll go down right now.
Yeah. You can get down there.
Seriously. That is well. You better have some headroom on your credit card if you hand it to Tom, because that place is amazing.
It is. All right. Well, right now it's my pleasure to bring back on the show Mary Thompson. She's the executive director of the Home Builders and Remodelers of CNY. How are you, Mary?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us, you guys.
Well, thank you. I mean, we got to stop meeting like this. I only meet you a couple times a year.
Yes.
It's like in the spring when we do the home show, and then in the fall here. But you have the Parade of Homes in full swing here, so that's awesome.
Well, we will.
You will, yeah.
Starting
Today.
Today.
Yep.
Well, we actually started on Thursday.
Okay.
And we go through Sunday the 24th.
So all of this week, all of next weekend.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then
Yep.
don't go in our yard.
Through the 24th. Then
closed.
we're out. And the neighbors will be glad
That's
that we're
wonderful.
gone.
So let's contrast this year as opposed to last year. It's funny. I can remember going to the Parade of Homes last year, meeting you and saying, "Hey, how are you?" And we were talking as we were coming in, and it's like that seems like it was yesterday.
And yet also 100 years ago.
Right. And here we are again. So things a little different. Not so much COVID crap going on and all that. It's like almost normal-ish, right?
Correct. And we're back to our more normal-ish time
Right.
when we do it in September. Last year we were later and did it in October because there still was a lot of supply chain issues.
Right.
Those are better.
Yeah.
But we're still struggling in the residential construction industry with labor.
I get you.
Yeah, so anybody who knows young people or just somebody who wants to change a career and loves working with their hands, there
Get
are
into it.
great
Yeah, right.
No,
jobs
Tom. No. You're
in
staying
the
here.
residential construction
Tom likes
industry.
working with his hands, and he's sick of me.
Yes.
The burning question is, where is it this year?
Yes, where is it?
It's actually really easy to find this year because it's in Radisson.
Nice,
so it's
easy, yeah.
right off of Route 31, and then you can just follow the signs into the site. And Radisson is just outside of Baldwinsville and over by the Anheuser-Busch plant.
Okay, it's more toward that end?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
gotcha.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful community, lots
Oh, it
of
is.
walking paths. The river is right nearby.
I was out there
So-
this week, Tom, checking it out.
Were you? They didn't kick you off the property?
They didn't. I didn't slow down enough for
went
that.
incognito.
But it's beautiful, and there's some really striking homes there, and Radisson's just a beautiful community.
It really is.
And,
I love
it really is. And
Our first apartment was there.
Oh, there you go.
One of the apartments took dogs, and we had our little Cocker Spaniel. But we were there for, it had to be 3 years. Then before I moved up to the pastures, which was the Parade of Homes 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 plus years ago,
20
yeah.
plus, yeah. So before we did that, we did check out Radisson. We just couldn't find anything in the price point that we needed, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
all that stuff.
so you
But
went to the
it's gorgeous.
pastures and spent more.
Yeah, right. When we were there, though, I do recall, you've got the different ponds, and I was fishing
okay.
that. And you can go fish the ponds. You got
right.
the bike paths.
Those signs that say fishing for residents only.
Yeah. Don't apply to you?
Well, I have a press pass. Does that? I don't know that it applies.
Well, one of the interesting things about this community this year, Tom, you noted the different kinds of housing.
Yes.
And it's right near the village of Baldwinsville.
Sure,
It has blueways and greenways. So it really is a great example of what the county is looking for in communities moving forward. There's been some pushback. Oh my gosh, what are they looking for? It's going to be so different. It's not that different. We're already doing it in a lot of ways, just paying attention
What
to
is
some
a
bigger
blueway?
things. A blueway is water.
Oh,
waterway.
okay. Gotcha.
Yep, waterway and greenways are paths, biking,
okay, yeah.
hiking, walking paths. They have the soccer fields there. They've got everything. Pickleball is very big out there.
And
they have the clubhouse, the Aspen clubhouse.
Getting in and out of there, you have a variety of ways to do it. It isn't just one entrance. You go up River Road. There's a variety of ways to get in and out. You can go north out. I mean, it really is.
Correct.
It is. So
but you got to follow you got to follow the signs getting into the Parade of Homes because we have a very specific pattern we need to make sure that we.
I always follow the rules. So what are they going to see when they get there?
Oh my gosh!
How many homes? First of all, how many homes?
There's 6 homes this year,
okay.
And there's so much. I don't even know where to start. You were just talking about dogs. There's a couple of dog washes, which are very popular right now. Interesting things that have been done with laundry.
Within the homes? Dog
laundry
washing?
room. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know. That's interesting.
The ceilings and the different ways they're doing the walls right now, very cool. There's gorgeous big plank floors. And then there's the more practical things that a lot of people actually come looking for. Different kinds of siding. There's a couple beautiful Certainteed products. There's some beautiful windows and these really cool doors that open into courtyards and really make the indoor-outdoor living.
Nice.
Oh, it's
so they're not
gorgeous.
Radisson is not putting like these major restrictions on the builders. In the old days, people would complain. They'd say, "Oh, all the houses would look the same because they had restrictions."
They don't look the same.
They don't.
They do have restrictions. They don't want you to park your Winnebago, and build a basketball court and pave the front yard. But you know what? That protects everybody, I feel.
Yeah, and they do have restrictions. However, the board worked with the builders, and all of that was taken care of more than a year ago now. So,
gotcha.
The homes are really beautiful. Steve's right. They look different.
Stunning.
And again, it isn't just for somebody who wants to build new, but of course you can
get
do that.
ideas. Yeah,
and
get those
there's
ideas.
3 homes still for sale.
Very nice.
It's fun to walk into someone else's house. I don't know. Am I wrong, or is that just weird?
It's one thing to look at a picture on a screen and say, I want this in my home, or even go to a showroom and say, I'm interested in this. But it's different to see it in a house.
Touch it, feel it.
And how do they get tickets? How do they get to this?
Tickets are at the gate, $15. And so we welcome everybody out straight through the 24th.
They can get information on the website?
Yes, hbrcny.com. And just click on Parade. Everything's there.
Great. How about any food trucks or any kind of thing?
We have different food trucks throughout. And again, that's listed on our website. So if you want to come out for a smash burger one day, you can do that.
Great. All right. The Parade of Homes in full swing here. And that's Mary Thompson, Executive Officer at Home Builders and Remodelers of CNY. Thank you so much, Mary. Have a great show.
Thanks for having us, guys.
All right. Dr. Joseph Barry from, what's the name of the show? Go ahead. What's the name of the show?
Your Health Matters.
Your Health Matters, of course.
Yes.
And owner of Signature MD, my personal physician. Coming on the show next, we're going to learn all about all sorts of stuff. That's going to be a very interesting segment. Stick around on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it again. You found the last bastion of great talk radio. It's Tom and Steve on the local show.
Yeah, that's it.
I've been waiting for this segment for forever.
To talk to me?
Yes, not to talk to you.
Okay.
No, to talk to somebody who really has some sort of intelligence. And that's Dr. Joseph Barry. He is the owner of Signature MD, and he's also heard here on the radio on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM on Sundays at noon. His show is called Your Health Matters, and he's the one who actually got me through the pandemic. And I was listening to him one Sunday, and I said, I got to go to this guy. So I dumped my doctor, Dr. Shivago, and ended up coming over to Dr. Barry. And
I can't believe he said yes after meeting
well,
him.
Trust me, I had to slip him a couple of Benjamins to get in, but I got there.
Benzos. I don't know if money would work.
Dr. Barry, how are you?
I'm doing great, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for being on the radio in general. But seriously, he got me through because he seemed to be talking sense, and that was something that was missing from my medical health, at least that I could see. Dr. Barry, give us a little bit of your background for people who don't know where you came from and why you started.
Well, I'm a local boy. I was born and raised in Camillus, went to West Genesee High School.
Oh, okay.
Then I went to Cornell. Then I went to Downstate Medical Center in Brooklyn. And then I finished my training with my residency in St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Boston.
Golly.
Then in 1987, I came back here to work with my dad, who was a physician. And it's been downhill ever since.
I didn't realize your father was a physician.
My father was a doctor, as was my mother.
No kidding.
She was a pediatrician, and after the sixth child, she said, you know what, I've got enough work here. I'm not going to see anyone else.
6 kids.
Yeah.
Isn't that something else? Any of your brothers and sisters doctors as well?
My sister Brenda's a gynecologist in Florida, so we say she's almost a doctor.
In Italian, we say that's a gynecologista.
Yeah, okay.
There we go. All right. So you have a practice that is unique. It's called Signature MD. Explain what Signature MD is.
Well, Signature MD is a concierge practice. So I had the timidity, the balls of the giant condor to change my practice. Up till now, I had been doing whatever the problem was. Here's a pill. It was fee-for-service medicine. And a company came to me and said, are you satisfied? Are you happy with your life? And I said, well, I'm delighted with my home life. I've got a wife that loves me. I got kids that are alive and unindicted. But I am not happy at work. I was seeing people every 15 minutes. I wasn't doing what I was put on this earth to do, which was to try and change lives and improve health. People weren't quitting smoking. People weren't losing weight. I was putting bandages on their symptoms, not going after the underlying problem. So this company said, well, if you go a concierge practice, if you have the nerve to charge more, you can give people extra time and maybe make a difference. So that's what concierge practice is.
How long ago was that?
That was 7.5 years ago.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So the concierge idea is charge people extra. You could drive a Honda or you could drive a Maserati. You can fly economy or you can fly first class. And the idea that in medicine you only had one level of service, well, the insurance companies were happy with it, but I don't think people were. And if there's an option to pay a little more and get better care, or presumably better care, that's what I wanted to do. So I could have worked in the hospital, could have gone to the nursing home, hospice care, could have gone back to teaching, could have taken one of those lucrative jobs with Blue Cross Blue Shield, as an assistant vice president.
Right.
But I said, no, I love patient care. And this company said, well, transition, in the old sense of transition.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then there's a bunch of other doctors who do concierge medicine in Syracuse. I'd say 6 or 8 now.
Yeah.
But what made my practice unique is that I said, if I'm going to charge people extra, other than have a nicer waiting room and a short wait and more time with the doctor, I better up my game. I better be bringing them more medical information than the average doctor does. And so that got me into a deep dive into really the fundamental issues of ill health, which, not a huge surprise, what came down to our lifestyle. It's what you eat and what you do and how you think and how you sleep. And so now that's what I focus on. And I don't have as many illness visits. Oh, I get the ill people in, but I really focus on wellness with my patients now. As I tell people, your doctor is an expert at illness. He can give you a pill for blood pressure and cholesterol and your diabetes and your migraines, but he's not going to say, well, what's causing the migraines? Why is your stomach upset? Why is your blood pressure high? And that's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Let's get to the root cause.
So you have a different philosophy to practice than 90% of the folks out there. Is that fair?
No, I'd say it's more like 95.
Right. Okay.
And it's,
all right.
I agree.
It really hurts me. I mean, my profession is in very deep trouble.
Yeah.
The primary caregivers, it's hard to get in. You know, you call up, you got a headache, we'll see you at Christmas time.
Right.
No, I'm having belly pain. Then go to the ER. That's not the way it's supposed to be. But primary care is at the lowest rung of the totem pole. I see these other professions, you know, the dermatologists, the cardiologists. They're not changing lives. They're not making impact on people, and yet they get twice my salary. Now, don't feel bad for doctors. I'm making a good living.
Right.
But my profession is, they don't want to challenge authority. Whatever the government says cholesterol is bad, well, cholesterol must be bad, even though cholesterol is in breast milk. Cholesterol is one of the 4 fundamental fats in your brain. How can cholesterol be bad? Hypertension, they keep changing the rules so that sooner or later, everyone's going to have hypertension.
Do other doctors dislike you?
I don't think I'm loved.
Well, you're loved by me.
It's a serious question, right?
I don't care because
I love the answer.
My wife loves me. Now, I've had on the radio a specialist in immunology, moldology, environmental health, Dr. Sherry Rogers, and she was practicing here in Syracuse 25 years ago. And when she was in town, I said, "There's Dr. Rogers. I respect what she's doing, but she's fringy. She's on the fringe. Mold and environmental allergies, that's fringy stuff." Now I understand I'm on the fringe. But I didn't realize that she was way ahead of her time. I'm not saying I'm ahead of my time because there's so many other people in America talking about things. Dr. Gundry, Dr. Mercola, Ivor Cummings. There's just so many people. They're just not here in Syracuse.
Yeah. Let me ask you a pointed question because we're limited on time, and I could definitely talk to you for 2 hours. Can you talk about COVID? Are you allowed to?
Yes. Okay. Here's why. I don't have a platform. You
Yeah.
can't deplatform me. I don't work for the hospital. I'm not worried about what the people think behind me.
We love that,
Right.
by the way.
Well, specifically about, where we are now with this virus, what's going on now, and will we ever have a foolproof solution to eradicate it?
We'll never have a foolproof solution. We're dealing with nature, and this is just another virus. I know it was vilified, and people were afraid, and I think that in Washington, they were afraid because they knew very well this was a manufactured virus.
Yes.
We paid for it. We had it done in China. It got loose. And so imagine you're in Washington. Geez, we're paying the Chinese extra money to, militarize this virus, and now it's gotten loose. Why wouldn't they expect millions to die? But it turns out, because of nature, even an artificially made virus is going to be subjected to the natural Gumper's curve in terms of wave infections, and we just blew it completely out of proportion. We don't know how to take it back. No one in Washington can say, you know what, we were frightened, we made a mistake, our bad, we've learned a lesson. They haven't learned a lesson. More virus vaccines are being rolled out, more masks, more limited your distance, more mandates. That's the exact wrong way to go. It turns out that less than 1% of people passed away. It was mostly the infirmed and the elderly. The people that wrote the Great Barrington Declaration, the doctor from Oxford, from Stanford, from Harvard, were vilified for saying, just protect the elderly and let's go on with our lives.
Love your passion to speak your heart and the truth. And I'm glad you're doing that.
Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Berry. I'm going to say it. I love the man.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm a mess. I still have to keep going with him. But anyway, thank you. And you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks very much.
You got it. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we will have conversations with Jim Nosek. He's the owner of Anyela's Vineyards. And then Neil Carr will stop by, Vice President of Prime Heating and Air. Sheila Ostrom, owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions, along with her friend, Lorraine, I think it's Parkalap, who's a paralegal from Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. And then Jeff Rogers, owner of Angry Smokehouse and Angry Garlic, here on the show. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Jim Nosek. He is the owner of Anyela's Vineyards and also representing Onondaga Grown. Neil Carr stops by, president of Prime Heating and Air, and then Sheila Ostrom, owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions, along with Lorraine Parkalap, who is a paralegal from Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and then Jeff Rogers, the owner of the Angry Smokehouse and Angry Garlic, stops by for a nice conversation.
Tom.
So that's all coming up.
Tom.
Yes.
You haven't brought any zucchini in? You haven't brought any
Nothing.
pumpkins in?
We didn't plant a garden.
They did nothing this year?
No, Mike Johnson tore it all up and put a patio in
That
for me.
explains it. Because by now, people have zucchini the size of a car.
Yeah.
And
nothing.
So yeah, nothing. Could you buy some and bring them to me?
Anti-aggregate. Yes, we always do have zucchini and
I know.
And eggplant on hand at the Soccocio household.
Well, you're going to have to pick some up and bring it in.
Absolutely. Hey, let's talk with Jim Nosek right now. He is the owner of Anyela's Vineyards. How are you?
I'm just great today.
It was great to see you, man.
Thanks for the invite.
What's your wife's name?
Patricia, Patty.
Patricia Patty. Yeah. I talked with her last time I was up there when we were doing a wedding reception, but you don't do the wedding reception thing anymore. What do you do up there?
What we do is we make wine and we provide a place where you can enjoy it extensively.
Nice.
Really, we try to accentuate the program with regard to looking at agriculture first. That's people don't realize that that's kind of where the wine comes from.
Sure.
And you know, all of agriculture is that way anymore. We're a couple of generations away from being on farms, and everything comes from the supermarket.
Right.
But not really. So we wanted, even as you drive up the driveway, we wanted to make sure people see the vines first, no buildings, and then you finally enter into an area where we do have buildings. We've got, I think, places for people to enjoy wine, stay there for a while, and enjoy the destination.
I hate to be that guy, but where is it? I got a driveway. I got grapes. Where the heck is it? If anybody's looking on YouTube, you're seeing me holding up pictures.
We're not in California.
Okay, that's good.
That's not in the Napa Valley.
That's right. But we're, I think, in just as a lovely place. We're in Skaneateles, New York. We're about just a little under 4 miles south on the west side of the lake.
So you pass Skaneateles Country Club and you keep going straight.
You betcha. And we're on the west side then.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yep. How long have you been doing this? Is this a family business?
It's a family with regard to my wife and myself, but I started out actually, Anyela is my grandmother's name. They came over from Eastern Europe right around World War I time.
Right.
They set up a shop in Western New York, south of Buffalo, and actually that's where most of the New York grapes are grown out there. And initially, I'm a scientist by training. I really get
What did you do full time?
Nutritional physiology, and I was involved with the industry, if you will, from an R&D standpoint. I worked for a couple of industries and consulted on my own, and worked with a lot of larger industries where we would look at supplements for animal feeding, human feeding, and whatnot.
Where'd you go to school?
Cornell, Penn State, and ended up at Virginia Tech.
Wow.
So kind of
He's an intelligent man.
Yes.
And notice this.
And we tricked him to come here.
Look at his physique. He's slender and all that. He knows nutrition.
I did not look
what
at
are
his
we doing?
That's good.
What are we doing wrong?
He wasn't a head turner to me. I'm sorry.
I didn't mean that way.
So was the vineyard there when you purchased? How long have you had that? Was it another one before, or was it?
No, it was a green site. When we first came over here, actually, I ended up in Syracuse for my first job, and got more interested in the viticultural aspect and the winemaking aspect from a science standpoint. So, and then I looked at the Finger Lakes proper, Seneca Lake and Cuba Lake, and said, I just don't want to be one of 30 wineries on Lake. Nothing wrong with that.
Right,
I don't want to
sure.
be one of those. Okay, so then I looked at Skinny Atlas, and Skinny Atlas, has no winery. It has a demographics. It's close to Syracuse. Nobody's addressing that market. So, wine is something that you have a passion for and you want to make and you want to do a great job. But you also have to look at it from a reality standpoint. You got to sell it too.
Right.
Okay.
Got to make a living.
Exactly. So we try to embrace that community, and we found out very quick that why a lot of people didn't grow grapes there, because they're a higher elevation, and during the wintertime it gets colder than cold.
So explain why vineyards are on the sides of lakes. Explain to folks to understand, why do grapes grow there and they don't grow in Tom's backyard?
Yeah. Typically they need a place for cold air sinks, okay? That's really kind of the bottom line. And on a hillside, the cold air will sink and then will go down a slope. And typically it's nice to have it go down a slope into, for example, either a lake or an open area where it can settle and be away from the grapes. So you want.
Why do I want that?
Because you, particularly in the wintertime with regard to the real cold temperatures, there's a threshold as far as what grapes can stand. -5 to -10 is kind of a critical point. You don't want to get much lower than that with regard to injuring not only the primary buds that you're looking for to develop the grape crop, but also potentially injuring the vine itself with regard to their grafted vines, and you really have to protect that graft quite a bit. Same thing in the fall, in the spring, I should say. We want to have the cold air to sink and the cold air to move downhill. We don't want it to reside on the grapes.
Okay. Now, as far as your vineyard is concerned, where do you sit in terms of size within the Finger Lakes area?
I'd say we're medium. We're about 5,000 to 6,000 cases a year. We've got 24 acres of grapes up there, and they're all vinifera grape up there.
And what kind of wine do you make?
We make all kinds of vinifera variety. That means varieties that are more European style, if you will. We make Pinot Gris, we make Chardonnay, we have Pinot Noir, we have Cab Franc. All those traditional varietals. The ones that we really like to go ahead and make specifically are our blends, and those are our best-selling ones.
Okay.
From a crafting standpoint, it gives us a lot of opportunities to express the region, like our Vale. Our white wine is a blend of Chardonnay, also has some Riesling and a little bit of Hugo White.
Is it all your grape, or use some crush, or no?
All of ours.
It's all, so this is all right from there.
Right from there. We actually are a net seller of grapes as well. So.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
So everything is controlled by us and is put in a bottle by us.
How many people do you employ out there?
It'll be seasonal. During the season itself, that being starting from, say, April through November. On the vineyard side, we'll employ up to, say, 7 or 8 people. And then on the winery side, we'll employ up to 10 people.
That's it.
Can people get
I thought he was going to say like 200 people.
No, it's there's a seasonal thing.
That.
Can people get your products at local liquor stores or things like that?
We do have some liquor stores that they do. We have a wholesale component that they carry, but most of our sales are right out of the store at the winery.
So you're on Farm Fest. On Farm Fest, I always say that right. Yes. So this weekend, Saturday,
yes,
they can come up and visit.
Folks can come out and visit during the day. I think you said 10 to 7.
Right, 10 to, actually, we're going to have tours associated with the OnFest program from 10 to 3.
Okay, and if they can't make it Saturday, Sunday, you're open. They can come and see you 12 to 5?
12 to 5. We also have music on that day, a pretty big band on
What's that? Who's that? Now you got to think of a name.
That's the band.
This is where my wife comes in.
Yeah. But it's a big band. Let's put it that way.
I believe Diana Jacobs.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Out of Auburn.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay,
now, if I come up there, would I be able to squish the grapes with my feet like we did in the old country?
I hope not.
Okay.
I hope
Yeah,
not.
we all hope that. We want sales to go up, not down. So to get there, just go through Skinny Atlas, hang a left, go down the west side, 4 miles down?
West side, about 4 miles down.
There's some signs they could find it?
Actually, they can't miss it. We're the only vineyard on the west side.
Okay.
And it's pretty easy to find. You just go right up there.
You can see it right up on
It's
that.
right between vines.
And I know, Tom, you've been there, right?
Oh, yeah, several times, yeah. It's wonderful. And just to wrap up, you can go there and sit and look over the lake because you can see the lake.
That's the objective.
Yeah.
We want people to stay, enjoy the wine. We really, it's not a place where you just chug alcohol. It's a place where you really enjoy the scenery, enjoy the artistry of agriculture. culture, and have a good time.
Excellent.
The bottles are beautiful, radio.
Yes, they are very well
People on
designed.
YouTube, you got this
High-end
absolutely
stuff.
beautiful stuff.
Well, thank you very much.
Well
Appreciate it.
designed, a lot of good
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for what you and your wife do and your whole team up there.
Appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
All right. Jim Nosek right there, owner of Anyela's Vineyards. We've got Neil Carr coming up next. He's the vice president of Prime Heating and Air. Stick around for that right here on the local show on 570 WSYR 1069 FM.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Gettys Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. We're glad to have you here on this weekend, heading into fall with Tom and Steve. That's one thing we know how to do is fall down.
Head into fall. I'm so inspired. It is good fishing though. This time of year, you can chase.
Yeah,
things.
you can.
Yeah, I do. I do better in the
You
fall.
get some salmon. You could get some
walleyes.
walleyes that come in. Yeah,
You know, it's
but
all
I've got an unfortunate thing that I have to talk about. That's happening over at the house.
Okay.
And very disappointed.
Here we go.
A lot of people are going to feel for me. I have the lawn rust.
I don't even know what that is.
Either do I. It was something new. Lawn rust is a new thing. So Mikey, Beagle Do Wrong, comes into the house and he's all orange on his paws and on his belly. And I said, "What the heck did you get into?" Well, I looked at the lawn from like a long perspective, from a higher window, and I'm just all orange. And I said, "Did they drop something? Was it the mosquito spraying, or
What is it?
do we
What
have
was
a
it?
Chinese spy balloon with dangerous stuff on it?"
What was it?
And it turns out that it's lawn rust. And it's actually a fungus among us, and it's a mildew or a mold or something, and it's very common during the fall.
Something that $300 will fix?
Well, no, I don't think anything fixes it. It has to kind of go away naturally. Well, fertilizer will fix it, but what happens is all the nutrients, because of so much rain, get washed out of the soil, according to one of my lawn professionals I spoke with. And it creates this rust. I've never seen it in all my years.
Yeah, in the apartment I live in, there's no lawn rust.
So, well, you don't know that.
I have, and there's.
Have you heard of lawn rust?
No, never. But it's probably only your yard.
I like that. Yeah, no one has.
None of his neighbors have.
No,
I guarantee.
Hang on. I just looked it up on the internet. It's only on a certain street in the pastures in Cicero.
Well, I wanted to let people know I have a GoFundMe page to take care of my lawn rust. All right, Neil Carr. Neil Carr is here, Vice President of Prime Heating and Air. How are you, Neil?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Guess where I don't have the lawn rust? On my central air conditioning unit.
There you go.
So that's
Keep
all
that
good.
washed off. There you go. Good.
That's good. Hey, Neil, what do you do over there at Prime?
Just scheduling.
Yeah.
There's all the operational stuff, the boring stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You have a big title for
Behind
somebody
the
that just
scenes.
does operational stuff.
Well, when your brother owns a company,
You're
just give
suddenly the
yourself
vice president.
whatever title you want. I picked it myself. So.
You're out there kissing hands and shaking babies.
Yeah.
Or is it the other way
exactly.
around?
I think it's the other way around.
All right. Yeah, you're doing all that
Behind
kind
the
of stuff.
scenes, yeah.
So now, as we head into, where it's getting a little colder outside,
Yeah.
should people hook
It'll
up with
get
you
here
guys?
sooner or later.
Can they still do a maintenance program with you, like where you come in and check them out every 3 months or something like
It's
that?
not too late.
Every other week.
You're like, no. After September 1st, you must suffer.
Yeah, we won't come see you. No, yeah, absolutely. We offer 1, 2, and 3 year agreements, so they're all paid up front.
And what does that mean? What will
We'll
that
see you
do
twice
for
a year.
people?
We'll see you twice a year.
That's
once in
it?
the fall for your heating, once in the spring for your AC.
Oh, you don't come out like every other week to check things out?
No.
Do you change
Tom, I don't want to see you that often. Come on. I know you're getting that. It ain't happening, buddy.
Do you change the filter, or is that Tom's job?
Well, Tom should more often than we're there, but yeah, we change them when we come out.
Yeah, especially now, folks. I just noticed mine, and it's been a little bit, and Central Air's been running. I pulled that sucker out.
And it was full of lawn rust. Lawn rust, not lust.
Yeah.
No, there was no lawn rust
It's a
in
different
it.
show, Steve.
Okay.
However, it was pretty dark. You know, it was almost black as sackcloth.
Yeah, man. You should be checking them every 45 days or so, and then replace them as needed.
Yeah, get it done now. And all that. So, what are the best ways to heat your home during these times?
With whatever you got. Yeah. Right. And, just with whatever heating system you have. I don't know. That's a weird question,
Yeah,
Tom.
that is a weird question.
Yeah,
I'm a weird dude.
A weird guy.
What are you looking for?
So really, what he's trying to say,
Heat pumps versus
he still
electric
doesn't know.
heaters versus forced air.
Whatever you've got, get it maintained, get it serviced.
But
you
if
know,
people
this
were
time of
looking
year.
maybe for another option.
Okay, I'm going to ask a real question because he doesn't know what he's talking. I'm going to ask you a real question. So, how long do you hold out before you turn the heat on?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
I
all
guess
subjective. I probably wait longer than most people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is it a bad thing to wait?
No.
I mean, is it like?
No, it's just until wherever you're comfortable. You know, when you start waking up in the morning, if you can see your breath, it's probably time.
Yeah, you might want to.
Or you get up and it's cold.
Oh, good
Whenever
God.
you're like, I can't, wake up in the morning, walk to the shower without freezing. That's about when you turn it on. No, whatever most people want, whatever keeps you comfortable, it doesn't matter.
It's interesting with those heat pumps, though.
Yeah.
I noticed that a couple of places, venues that I've been DJing at, they have heat pumps now on the outside of the building, right?
Yeah. Yes.
They're probably the industrial type, right?
No, they're all the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are mini splits.
Oh, mini splits.
Yeah, it is a heat pump. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but you'll see that in a lot of commercial spaces. Either to add, if it's your venues, they're packing full of people, so they're getting hot. So it's just maybe the central air system can't keep up, so they're adding those to supplement, add a little more AC, kind of thing.
If people aren't, a lot of people will complain, mainly women. You know who you are,
and Tom,
and Tom.
Throughout the winter, it's like this room is beautiful, but this room is cold, and hot, cold, hot, cold. Would it be appropriate to put maybe a mini heat pump?
Yeah, I mean you could. If it's a forced air system, that would be most likely a ductwork issue. So you have airflow issue. So you could assess that first.
Right.
Have the ductwork and checked out. Is the run to that room, is that the farthest one away? Does it need a booster? There's different things you can do. If you get to the point where it's just like we've tried these other things, they're not working. Yeah, sure, you can look at doing that. But there's some things you can do first on a forced air system for sure.
I know we talk a lot about home heating.
Yeah.
But your brother is quite the guy when it comes to leading the commercial buildings and those commercial things. And you do some of that work too. I know we don't often talk about it.
Yeah. We do a lot of maintenance for commercial properties. We do a lot of rooftop replacements. So that's a big part of what we do as well. Maintenance is big for commercial spaces. They need their system because most of the time they're running 24/7, so they need their systems checked out more regularly, usually quarterly. Filters changed more regularly, that kind of thing. So we do a lot of that. Like I said, we do a lot of rooftop change-outs. We do a lot of ductless stuff, heat pump stuff in some of the commercial spaces as well. So yeah, it's a growing part of what Prime is doing. Yeah,
I think it's your brother's reputation too, isn't it? I mean, he's
he's very good at what he does, and that gets around. Yeah. For
so
sure.
hopping back into the residential, how do we put moisture back into the air? And do you have products for that, as well as is there going to be anything that really makes a difference in filtering out viruses and things like that throughout the house, so that people don't get as sick?
So forced air systems, that's going to be the easiest way to do that. If you've got a boiler, then there's different things you're going to need to do. But for a normal furnace forced air system, there's whole house humidifiers that can be installed that you hooked up to a water line, and then when the furnace comes on, it puts moisture back into the air as the furnace is running.
Right.
So that's not the way it worked back in the day, Tom.
No, you'd have to
cup
put
of
water
back in the day with the converted coal burner.
Yeah.
It was like
put a saucepan.
Our first landlady was like, "Don't forget, put water in the furnace."
Yeah.
Why anybody water in the furnace, right?
Yeah. No, that's the way you used to do it.
It was just so odd. I'm going to put water in the furnace.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you want moisture back in the air in the wintertime when it's super dry, for sure. And then as far as the air quality and things, there's definitely things out there that are projected to take care of viruses, bacteria, improve the air quality, that kind of thing. So I always when people reach out about that, I send them links to different products that we use and allow people to do their research. Obviously, we're only saying they're going to do what the manufacturer is saying they're going to do.
Gotcha.
So we believe what they're saying
Prime,
is accurate as well.
PrimeHeatandAir.com, 802-4287 if they want to ask a question or get something checked, 802-4287, PrimeHeatandAir.com.
Yeah, give us a call. We'll
All
be
right,
here.
Neil. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
You too, guys. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Coming up next, Sheila Ostrom is the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. She's got a big event coming up, and she's going to talk about that, along with Lorraine Parkalap, who is a paralegal from Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. We'll get her take on that as well. Right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back again, like a bad penny. Steve is in your ears, so a lot of people would have put you to the drain by now, but because I'm here, I drag you right up the
Is that what
mountain.
happens?
Yes.
That's not what I hear, Tom.
You're connected to me.
People
so
say there's the
people
guy
like you.
with the good voice, and then there's the interesting part of the show, which
Yeah.
is you, Steve. That's what they say.
Very nice. Well, it is your show. You want to talk about Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts?
No.
Or do we,
Yeah, we sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Are you golfing with John? Is he still golfing?
He's still going. He's getting better, which is a little threatening because I used to be better than him, like always. Now it's like,
You know
he
why?
raised the bar.
He's Thin Lizzy. The guy is like,
you can be skinny and still hit a golf ball poorly, just to be clear.
Okay.
No, he took lessons, and he's doing great. But they're over there. They're helping people protect their home and life savings.
Mm-hmm.
I heard something on the radio the other day from one of the national syndicated shows, and they're like, yeah, you should go to a lawyer to do that. I'm thinking, go to a lawyer that does that.
Right.
Don't just go to
Just
some
does
random
that.
lawyer
Right.
because so many they just don't know. So if you haven't put your home in a trust and you want to keep it, do it. If your will is old, you're probably not getting any younger. Update your stuff. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com.
Very nice. It's our pleasure right now to bring on a couple of guests. Sheila Ostrom is the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions, and she brought a guest along, Lorraine Parkalap, who is a paralegal from Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, both here. You can see Sheila's website at SyracuseSenior.com. Sheila, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm hanging right in there. You have a big event coming up, Living with Dementia 2023. It's over at the Embassy Suites right across from Destiny. I love that place. They do a great job for, having events like this.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about it. What's going on?
So it's going to be on October 24th from 8 to 4. And we are sponsored by Upstate University Hospital and Upstate Nappy Wellness Institute. Mm-hmm. And we have a fun-filled day, just full of different things for any professional or person who is out there who is family or friends that are caring for people with dementia, or anybody who wants to know more about dementia. We have 2 different kinds of panels. We have a legal panel. That's one of our presentations we're going to have, and that's why I brought in Lorraine today.
Gotcha.
Because her company is going to be on the panel.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Lorraine, how long have you been with Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts?
I've been working with them for 3 years.
Oh, okay, great. And you're a paralegal. Explain to everybody what a paralegal is.
I do the work of an attorney without getting paid like one.
Wow. I love that.
And you don't have to take the bar.
That's right.
No bar. Huh?
Yeah, they're the ones that
Do the work.
that know, that can find the answers.
So do you help with the Medicaid stuff? Or
I
what
do not.
Okay.
My department is the Decedent Services Department.
What does that mean?
I
Sounds
take
like
care
probate to me.
It is probate. It is trust administration. It is guardianship for those cases where we are in a crisis situation and there's no power of attorney in place and we need a guardianship in place instead. We take care of all of that.
And that's not a fun time for the survivors.
No, it's
No.
not. It's a difficult time.
Yeah. So so having someone there that you can connect with, I mean, you've got to have some compassion or
Absolutely.
forget about it, right?
Absolutely. You need compassion and you also need to know what you're doing. So Those two things I've got covered.
Right. So going back to, so you're going to be at the conference.
Yes.
Safe Harbor is going to be part of a panel there. What are some topics that will be covered there?
So on the legal panel, we are going to cover guardianship. That is one of the things. I can't tell you how often this happens, and families are just devastated because you can't make decisions for the loved one because nothing is put into place. We're also going to talk about paperwork, powers of attorney. What's the difference between a power of attorney and a durable power of attorney? There's a significant difference, and you need to know that. Paperwork such as the healthcare proxies, why you need them, and then wills and trusts. Why do you need all of these things in place ahead of time? You cannot wait till you're in crisis, and I can't stress this enough for people, regardless if they have dementia or not. But those cases are so difficult because it gets to the point where they can't make their own decisions anymore, and legally, you have to go down that guardianship.
Right.
And I'm sure that you've experienced that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. And these worlds come together. So Sheila, you're involved in senior home care. Your organization helps people take care of people at home. And there's the legal part, there's the medical part, and you non-medical. There's the real estate part potentially, or the estate part, or the financial part. How do all these things come together at this workshop?
So at this conference, Living with Dementia 2023, we're going to pull all of those different resources together. So we're going to have the legal stuff. We're also going to have the technology. There's a lot of technology out there to help people who are living with dementia and their caregivers and their clients that they're helping. We're going to put the medical piece together. We're going to talk about research, trials, what's happening. We've had more changes in what's out there for dementia in the last year than we have in so many years. So it's nice to be able to bring that to the forefront. Dealing with difficult behaviors, how we're going to train people right there. Here's some tips and tricks. This is how you deal with difficult behaviors that come along with dementia.
And these are this could be a nurse or a doctor, but this could be my aunt taking care of my grandfather.
Absolutely.
Correct? So this is everybody.
I think, we were talking on a couple of previous shows. I was seeing a commercial for, they say that your mom or dad, those hands that used to hold you and care for you and everything are now being thrust up in the air and they're yelling at you and screaming, and that's a certain type of dementia, right?
Actually, that ad's a little misleading.
Okay.
Because I think they're trying to spin it into a different type of dementia. That type of agitation that that they show on there, that is actually common with almost all dementias.
Yeah, gotcha.
But they're trying to spin it in a commercial for a drug. But anyways, it's really difficult to deal with that. We're going to teach you some things that you think are easy to do, but in the moment, you just can't do it. It's not intuitive.
Right.
Taking care of someone with dementia is not intuitive. You have to really think and learn about the disease.
Lorraine, what do you wish people would do that they don't do? And you talk to people every day that are going through the process. Maybe they've lost someone. Are there things that you wish people would have planned and had done in
advance?
We wish people would take care of those things before it's a crisis situation. We say that all the time. We can help in a crisis situation, but it's much easier to have things in place ahead of time.
What kind of solutions would you offer to people?
Powers of attorney,
right.
Healthcare proxies, people that can make decisions for you when you're not able to, wills and trusts that take care of your assets and situations after you've passed.
Right.
And potentially the trust can save assets that might also be otherwise lost to long-term care. We have a lot of solutions for a lot of situations, but only if you take care of that.
So if people come in for a consultation, when we're talking with John, I always assume they're going to be speaking directly with John. Would you also be involved in that conversation if somebody comes in for an initial consultation before, any money's exchanged or anything like that?
I would be on the probate end.
Okay.
Right.
There's others that
the case managers.
The case, right, and I'm the case manager for the probate end. We have a case manager for the Medicaid situation. We also have case managers for the estate planning.
But it starts with a conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all the way.
Regardless. So just a reminder, Living with Dementia if anybody has family members that are involved in this or professionals, October 24th, and they can register at SyracuseSenior.com, Shirley?
Yep, SyracuseSenior.com, and we have a purple banner at the top of our page. Just click on it and you can register.
There we go. And folks from Safe Harbor Wills and Trust, if you need information on that.
Excellent. Thank you both, and you both have a great rest of the day, okay?
You too. Thanks.
All right. Jeff Rogers is coming up next. He's the owner of the Angry Smokehouse and Angry Garlic. Right here, I can smell it in the room already on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back at it, and that means you are too. You are joining Tom and Steve on The Local Show, and we do appreciate that. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. We're also on YouTube, so check that out at 3809 Zoey 3809, and you'll see some video clips there as well. We champion local businesses, and it's great when you have a local business that has a huge success story, and one of those businesses out of a bunch but has enjoyed a lot of success is Jeff Rogers, the owner of the Angry Smokehouse and the Angry Garlic. How are you there, Jeff?
I am fantastic. How are you, sir?
Very good. Thank you for being here. I know that it's always busy. You know, people just look at you and, they just assume that there's going to be a line. There's going to be a line to shake your hand. There's going to be a line to sit.
I don't understand why he's not the size of a piano with all this good food, quite
He's
frankly.
in great shape. Everybody's in better shape than us. What's going on?
Okay, so let's talk about the food, because I'm going to show it on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you can take a look at this food.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, look at these things right here.
Look at this.
Because I'm going to eat them. And so there's, for radio listeners, which is most of the crowd right now, there's a delightful sausage, and there's some kind of a rib here and a broccoli thing. What is that?
It's a long stem artichoke. I brought you a little bit from the smokehouse and a little bit from Angry Garlic today.
Which is nice, yeah.
All right. So how did you get into the business? Get a little closer to that, Mike. How'd you start this thing?
Both restaurants, or which one?
Sure, yes.
both.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Both. I've been doing this. September will be 33 years that I've been in this industry. And,
Really?
Yeah. And this is the Smokehouse was the third restaurant I opened up by myself. It's the 13th restaurant that I've opened up just in general. But the third one I've done solo. And, I got into it when I was 16 years old, fell in love with it, and I never got out of it.
Did you go to college or something for
I went to-
culinary?
How did you have time to do that? You opened 13 restaurants.
I went to 8 colleges.
That's what I like.
8. I went to 8. I traveled a lot because I used to go to different resorts and bartend and then run a restaurant. And wherever I ended up, I'd take more classes at the college that happened to be closest to where I was living.
You seem so level-headed for that type of a lifestyle. Because, and I've been in the entertainment business for 100.5 years. And a lot of people that are in your business are just, a little bit wacky. But you seem to be very level-headed. You're a good person in general. All those great things. How are you so grounded?
Family life.
Yeah?
Yep. My wife and my kids keep me grounded.
That's wonderful.
Really was good. But it also helps having the staff that I have in place. I have a staff that I can walk into work every single day, and whether it's Angry Garlic or Angry Smokehouse, and I know I can walk away from the restaurant, whether it's for an hour or for 4 days. Yeah. And it's not going to be in shambles.
How can you do that? So many people are having a difficult time attracting and keeping staff. What's the secret sauce to doing that? Because that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. It is a big deal, and I'm extremely blessed. But I'm not sure what the secret is to keeping staff. What I know is that what my wife and I do at the restaurants, it works. And it's pretty simple, which is just treat them like family. Treat them with respect. Give them time off. At Angry Garlic, we discovered very quickly that giving the staff appreciation. The second week of the New York State Fair, we shut down for a full week, and we give them all a paid week's vacation.
How about who does that? That's
right.
That makes a statement.
Why did you have to shut down?
They didn't. They chose.
You don't have to. We choose to. It's one of the slowest weeks of the year. As well as the week last week was another slow week. The going back to school week. It's always a very, very slow week for the restaurant industry. Yeah. But we chose the slowest week of the year, which for us is the first full week of the New York State Fair.
Okay.
And we said, you know what? Shut it down and let's give the staff a.
But think about that.
But you're paying them.
We're paying them.
The staff
Oh my gosh,
gets to
that's
spend
awesome.
time. It's the end of summer.
Yep.
They get time with their family. That's a wonderful thing. So you became one of America's wonderfulest, tastiest something or another.
Tell us about this award. Yeah, how did you get involved with that?
America's Best Restaurants. They paid us a visit. I want to say close to 7 months ago now. As a surprise,
Out of the blue? Okay.
Yeah, they sent us an email. Said we're going to come visit you. We had a bunch of people write in about your restaurant. We want to come and check it out. They came and checked it out, and after a couple hours, they stood up, shook our hand, and said, "You are one of America's best restaurants. We're going to feature you."
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty.
Now,
Absolutely.
how does that rolled out? What does that mean? Can someone see it, hear it? What
They're
happens?
going to come. It's going to be web-based only. It's not on television. From what I understand, Food Network owned it or does still currently own it. Elton Brown was a part of it.
Got it.
And then they set up this date to come and do a live filming. It's like any other
sometime in the next
show.
few months that's happening.
Well, it was supposed to happen September 1st, but they announced it without telling me. And that was during Staff Appreciation Week.
Oh, gotcha, right.
So I had I emailed them. I'm like, the restaurant's shut down.
It's a little quiet.
I'm not going to have my staff come back from this vacation.
Yeah,
I promised them and do it. So they're like, not a problem. We'll roll it out in the spring because they're going to be back in town in the spring.
What would be even funnier if he said, "Yeah, we're out of business." Sorry, you missed your opportunity.
So where are the restaurants located?
Both the restaurants, 29 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville for Angry Garlic, 33 Water Street in Baldwinsville for Angry Smokehouse.
Right. So the ones right in the canal, they're right both near the water.
Yeah, they're right both near the water. This Angry Garlic is right in the village at the Four Corners, a block away from the water, and the Smokehouse is literally right on the Seneca River at the lock.
How do you come up with this great food? I mean, it's not just
it's a fair question.
Yeah, because I eat a lot of different places, and I've been a disc jockey for 40 years, so I'm going to these different venues, but nothing quite tastes like your stuff, man. I mean, I could sit there and eat all day.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's a group effort. It's not just me. I can't take full credit. I'm a big part of writing the initial menu when we open up the restaurants, but then after that, it's game on. I want the entire staff involved. So every time we do a menu change, which is 3 to 4 times a year, I reach out to the staff and say, here's what we're switching out: 3 apps, 3 entrees, 3 large plates, 2 desserts, and 2 soups. Send me what you got.
Why do you switch it if it's so terrific?
I keep a small menu, and I keep a small menu purposely because I want to have the ability to. I want to get the guests excited, so they know every single fall AG and the Smokehouse are going to be.
But what if I was like this rib that I just devoured? I want that rib with that flavor. We don't do it anymore. Oh, come on! I mean, isn't there some of that going on?
There is, absolutely. Yeah, I have some guests that come in and they look at the menu. They didn't see on Facebook or Instagram or any of the social media marketing that we're switching up a menu. They come in and it's a different menu. They're like, wait, where's that burger I just had last week? Where is that burger?
Right.
I'm like, it's not on the menu, but you have to try this burger. You got to try this one. If you don't like it, I'll eat it.
So, so we were talking earlier that the restaurants are highly participated upon. Lots of people there. If you want to get in early, you said 3 to 5. Most days you can own the place. Come on in. Yeah. You can get there on the weekends, all those other times. But if you don't want to wait, maybe you're
now you're giving away the secret. Though.
Well, maybe you're older. Maybe you're older like Tom, and you eat dinner at 3 in the afternoon. that works. But wow, that is exciting, and congratulations. Truly. Thank
you so much.
They don't. That's a big deal.
Yeah, you have some wonderful stuff going on over there, and just, like I say, just the way that you treat people. I've sent people over, and I think I always say, not only is the food fantastic, but he's a really great person if you've ever met him. And everybody who comes in contact with you says you're a great person.
You talking to me, Tom?
That's a no. They don't say that, Steve. but with you, they do say that. Thank you so much, Jeff, for all you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for bringing us some food too. We appreciate that.
Of course.
Okay, that's going to wrap things up, Steve. So I'm going to let you finish your meal and
the weekend,
all that, and weekends in full
progress. Grown Saturday, and all kinds of
Parade of Homes in full swing. Everything's going on.
Dig in.
All right. On behalf of the local show, Zoey Advertising and Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Take a walk today and every day with a friend or family member. That keeps the weight down and the mind clear. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising 3809.